I'm sorry, but New York teams are never beating Osama bin Tomlin. By the way, this was not my idea. This is Deshaun Elliott's fault. He posted it last year on Instagram after the Steelers beat the Jets and Giants back-to-back weeks. But the Jets are in trouble versus the Steelers. Like, it's a bad matchup for them. They have a young offensive line that's talented but still developing, and I think Cam Hayward's actually playing. So if they're trying to get that run game going with Breece Hall, yeah, good luck. I mean, if you're basing the Steelers' defense off of what you saw at the end of last year, it's completely different. Given the context, I can go on and on about it for 10 minutes, but I'm not going to because you got Cam Hayward, Yaya Black, Keanu Benton, Derek Harmon's going to be out, but still, like, that's a pretty good interior front. And then your edge rushers, fully healthy. Everybody's fully healthy. I just don't see them being able to do it. And I know that they might want to get Justin Fields involved in the run game, but still, it's going to be a tough task for them because Peyton Wilson and Patrick Queen, like, those guys are tailor-made to run quarterbacks down sideline to sideline. Like, that's such a bad matchup for the Jets. And if we're talking about them getting Justin Fields going as a passer, it gets even worse, really. Because, one, we don't know Justin Fields as a prolific passer, like, consistently. He can make some really good throws. He can escape the pocket and make some really good plays. But again, going to be harder to do versus the Steelers, and going to be even harder to do now that the Steelers have multiple number one cornerbacks and the Jets have Garrett Wilson, and that's it. Like, their depth at wide receiver is terrible. So offensively, I don't really see the Jets doing much. We know how week one Steelers are, or early season Steelers. That defense is insane, and they're going to be even better this year than they were the last. I think the roster has improved. Now, the Steelers' offense is where it really gets interesting. I think it'll be a bit of a battle versus the Jets' defense. They got good pieces. I think maybe around 21, 24 points is what the Steelers will put up realistically, and that'll be enough to beat the Jets. But they got good pieces on the Jets defense. Quinnen Williams, Will McDonald had 13.5 sacks last year. It's just they're a little top heavy. They fixed that by bringing in Harrison Phillips. Well, not fix it completely, but they patched it up a bit. But still, I don't think that's enough to completely stop the Steelers' run game because Jaylen Warren having more reps now, that's dangerous. Caleb Johnson stepping in, and then a much improved O-line. Zach Frazier, what a monster that guy is. McCormick had a good rookie year. He's only going to be getting better. Seumalo's always been as solid as a rock. And then your young tackles who really showed off during the preseason. So I think it would be a real game changer for the Jets if they had a good linebacker group. I would maybe be talking a little differently, but the Steelers get past that first line, you could be looking at some really big runs from the Steelers. And then you talk about the Jets secondary. Yeah, they're top heavy again. You got Sauce Gardner, and then Michael Carter is the highest paid slot corner, but he didn't really have a good year last year from what I researched. And I think Roman Wilson is going to pick on him. Like, I genuinely feel as if Roman Wilson is going to bully him. And then, again, favorable matchups with their linebackers and your very, very good tight end group. And who else do they have? They got Brandon Stevens. All right, cool. Like, it's not anything special past Sauce Gardner. And I'm not putting any money on DK Metcalf to win that matchup, but it should be a good back and forth. But overall, the Steelers are taking the cake when it comes to that aspect. I think Rodgers is going to be able to throw the ball pretty efficiently this game. So again, very favorable matchup for the Steelers, and I think they just got much more talent across the board. Even though the Jets do have some very nice young developing pieces, I think it's too soon for them to go out there week one and beat the Steelers. But let me know what you guys think about the Steelers Jets. I'm willing to put around, I'll probably put, $300 on it, somewhere around there. And give me some game predictions in the comments. But hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. That is it for me on this one. Peace.